And we're back. Feels good to be back. Welcome back to Fight Junkeez. Fight Junkeez. There's a lot of Fight Junkeez out there. And today, I got some fighters and some management and some friends and some real good people in the building. I got someone that I've been following on Instagram. And every time I see him, he makes me feel extremely lazy and overweight. I got my friend Ishmeal, the Black Superman himself.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Welcome
sir.
to Fight Junkeez, bro.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here. Definitely.
I'm glad to have you. I really am. And then you got your right hand over here with the right hand from God himself. We got an up-and-coming boxer named The Real Numbers. And you guys are both coming from the East Coast. Shout out East Coast. I'm from Jersey.
Yes, sir.
So welcome back to the heat. I know it's hot in Vegas. You guys are finally wearing hoodies, and and now you're out here sweating. What's up, gentlemen? Welcome to Fight Junkeez, man.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate you.
So you guys are in Vegas for
Canelo Charlo.
Yeah. Before we dive into you guys and everything you guys got going on, we got to talk about that, the fight game for a second.
Yes, sir.
So obviously boxer. Did you ever box?
Just a little bit.
Just a little, but you've been because I'm a big MMA UFC fan. I mean, I watched boxing back in the early 2000s. I'm a little older than you guys, so like, you know, I still remember like 98, 99 when it was big,
right.
And then it died out. But you guys are still more heavy into boxing than UFC and stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
Me, of course, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's your. So how do you think this weekend's going to go? Like, what do you guys think of the state of boxing?
I think boxing right now is in a good place. You know, it's a lot of big fights. It's taking it back to the old school where everybody fought everybody. Nobody was scared to lose that everybody, you know, fought the best. So right now I think boxing is in a real good state. Real good state.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like for so long it was just, to be honest, disappointing. But 2023 has been a real exciting year, and I feel like the future is looking bright again. And I appreciate it because I think the UFC actually plays a part in that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, just combat sports in a whole.
Yeah.
And if any one of them's doing good as a juggernaut, the others kind of, you know, same like everybody talks shit about Jake Paul. But that young man's bringing some eyes to boxing, you know?
A lot of eyes.
So how do you think it goes down this weekend? Which I told you before that it would be crazy. I would probably get hit in the face by 9 out of 10 people if I ever said that I'd bet against Canelo 10 years ago or even 5 years ago.
Right.
But it just, the sweet science changes as you get older.
That's a fact.
So how do you guys feel this is going to go down?
I think Charlo going to take it by knockout. That's how I feel, you know.
Okay.
'Cause I feel like styles make fights, and one thing we know, when Canelo get frustrated, he just starts fighting. And if those two get into a fight, I feel like Charlo will take it.
Okay.
So that's my.
That's a good way to. I talk a lot about the athlete versus the fighter.
Yeah.
I'm not an athlete, but I got a little bit of an ego and a temper. And even if you're gonna knock me out, we're gonna throw down in the parking lot. And you're gonna know I was there. Because I've always just been that type of human.
For sure, yes.
My dad's from Brooklyn, New York, was a single dad. You know, he got raised a little rough. But then you got the athletes who have the 4.0 GPA. And, you know, the kids that I always wished I went to universities and that stuff. I got my GED and I went in the military. But there's a different dog inside of those guys. So Canelo, I think, because of where he's from, how he was raised in poverty, probably has that dog in him, that fighter.
Yeah.
And sometimes when it comes out, that's when you get slept. That's why I said you probably knocked me out, but I'm still going to talk shit. But that's always, seeing red's not a good thing.
Oh, no.
Bradley Martin, who thinks he can beat up all the MMA fighters. I can't, Have you guys seen that shit going around?
Yeah. I've seen it.
All right,
It was the comedian that he was just wrestling with that flipped him over.
Brian Callen.
Right.
Brian Callen's 56 years old. He weighs 150, 155. Yeah, he leg sweeped him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of like disrespects the fighters in a lot of ways. I've been a fan of Bradley Martin for a long time, and he's done a lot of great stuff. And sometimes we do clickbait shit because we know it works.
It works, right? Yeah.
But
that attention.
He got offered $1 million by Jake Paul to fight Mike Perry, bare knuckle, or in a street fight.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna see him fight Mike Perry.
Oh no.
You guys know what Mike Perry is?
Yeah, I know who Mike Perry is. Yeah.
I wouldn't fight him with all three of us. That dude's nuts. So who you got this weekend, man?
This weekend, I'm going to be watching the fight closely up until around 6 to see what Canelo's condition is going to be looking like. Because if he's keeping something in the gas tank, you know how Canelo does in the championship rounds. So, but he does struggle with good boxers. But Charlo's a boxer puncher, so it's kind of like Charlo's gonna have to come out with his foot on the gas, basically.
Try to get him out there.
Yeah. So it could actually end up in a late stoppage either way for me. But if it was to go to points, I would lean towards Charlo.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Sad to say.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, we got an upcoming fight in UFC. Tony Ferguson, OG, is fighting Paddy the Baddy, who's only got like 3 fights.
Yeah.
And there's no question that in 2015, Paddy would get murdered. By Tony Ferguson. But with age and miles, the shit happens.
Of course.
Unless you're this guy. So I know we got the fighter. We're gonna dive in, man, because I love talking to fighters. That's why I'm here. I'm a big fan, and I don't have to get punched in the face. You know I get to enjoy you guys. I got blown up in the war, so I'm done with all that crap.
Definitely.
Can you walk through like your life a little? Have you always just been genetically gifted? I don't think that's it, because I see the work you put in.
Yes,
but like, just tell them, because there's a lot of people that are depressed right now, and I don't want to get too serious. There's people that are depressed or they think they're depressed. There's people that are sad. There's people that feel like they're in a hole. They think that money's the only fucking issue. But I know firsthand, because I used to be in really good shape before I hurt my back. Like, people like you aren't just happy because you're just fucking happy.
Right.
You're happy because you're too fucking busy working and bettering yourself to be depressed. You got depression too. You got family things. You got all the same shit as us. But instead of sitting in the couch and fucking, let me think about this you're at the gym. You're putting in the reps. Can you explain for the people who haven't taken that step yet into the fitness world, that it's not even about looking? Obviously, it feels good to look a certain way for the brain. Can you dive into what it does for the mindset for some of these people?
For sure. So one thing that my brand stands on is mental fitness, physical focus. So the mental aspect is the most important. So like how you look physically is just a side effect of the work that you put in. But mentally, the gym is the only place where you get immediate gratification. So if you go into the gym and you complete a workout, you coming out feeling accomplished. You coming out feeling like, wow, I just got a goal done, I accomplished something, and that plays on the mind. So now your mind is geared to, when I go to this place, I know I come out with immediate gratification. So the fitness world, working out in the gym, for me, is therapy, because I go into the gym, I visualize my workout, I put the work in, I come out, I feel accomplished. So I tell anybody that's going through like a depression or anything in their life, leave it in the gym, because you'll come out with substance. You'll come out feeling amazing. And then repetition is everything. And our mind plays on repetition. If you keep feeding your mind a certain thing, you'll start to feel it, see it, and believe it. So you constantly going to the gym, getting those small gains and that small gratification, you're going to keep coming out feeling better and better. And then that's going to translate to every area of your life, because I was taught how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you take that one thing you do well and put your all into it, it'll translate to everything else. So that's the same with the gym. You go in there and get those small wins, you'll come out and it'll translate to everything else. So that's how I take it.
Couldn't have been said any better. And if I hadn't already gone through a lot of the steps to get fit, I'm real close with Rich Gaspari.
Yeah.
He'll be here next month. Have you met Flex Lewis and some of those guys?
No, I haven't had a chance.
I'm gonna see what I can do before you're out of here. Today, what is it, Friday?
Friday, yeah.
We might be able to pull something off.
That'd be awesome.
John's talking. Yeah, because I know Flex. I see him at the fights a lot. But Rich Gaspari is a close friend of mine. I'd love to connect you, but he'll be out here to go on the show. For sure. Because I think he's coming here, and then they got the Olympia. He's going to be in Florida. Usually it's in Vegas.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm competing amateur.
You are?
Yeah.
Good shit, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you doing physique? Yeah, I've seen.
Physique, yeah.
Have you thought, because of your physique, transitioning to classic?
Nah.
No.
Classic ain't my thing.
No, I think you could.
Yeah,
do very well in it.
Could transition. Yeah, I just ain't my thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll be on the stage, man, physique for sure. You
know Logan Franklin?
No, I haven't met him.
Yeah, he's he's got his pro card. I think he competed a couple times in Olympia, came at 8th or whatever it was, which is tremendous.
Which is tremendous, yeah.
Oh, he's a goat, but he's had some health issues and stuff. But he was military police in the Army too, so I support Logan Franklin a lot. I've been following Logan for a long time because he was, from what I saw, most of us when we get out of the military, we're so used to working out.
Yeah.
I don't like to run a lot because I'm so used to running with a group of people that it's easier, especially when you're a squad leader and you got 15 Joes looking at you to be strong.
Oh yeah.
Like you got to keep running.
For sure.
But when no one's looking, that's another thing we can talk about, like putting the work, like especially for fighters, man.
For sure.
I'll ask you that. Like you can throw this in. I want to know a little bit more about like the fighting, because you said you're 32, right? I think that 30 to 30, even to 40, I feel, and I'll show you a picture of me before I hurt my back. I deadlifted 610 dry as an ego lift.
Tough.
And I'll put myself in the hospital. I mean, I was in a wheelchair for a little bit. Like, haven't been able to do legs or work out for almost 9 years because of that. Because I can't. It just, and I have kids, and I'm scared to not be able to walk.
For sure.
So, but I believe that 30 to 40 is now the prime time for muscle proteins, for growth, for mindset too.
For sure.
If you can actually like listen. A lot of people can't listen to motherfuckers. They don't,
That's a fact. That's real.
Everybody knows it. How do you, like, what's your life been like? Were you a fighter growing up? I mean, coming from Virginia, obviously it could be some, I've been to Virginia. It depends where you go. There's some gangster areas where you got to fight.
Well, coming up, Virginia really wasn't a big boxing scene. I was just a fan of boxing. My stepfather, he was a minister growing up, and he was like a minister that dealt with like Zab Judah, Mike Tyson, people like that. So I was always a big fan of boxing, but I started out playing football because that was the closest contact sport I could actually play. So then I got into, when I graduated, I moved back to D.C., the D.C. area, and that's when I kind of like wasn't really serious but trying to get back into it. And it wasn't until I transitioned back to Virginia where I got really serious and started meeting a trainer, and then started meeting a strength and conditioning coach, and then we started putting this thing together like, hey, we might have something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is, man. Plan comes together, and it just naturally did. Like,
that's like you asked me, how did I get here?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I held a cardboard sign up that my wife thought I was nuts making. She supported me though.
For sure.
I'll get the pictures sent to me. I can show you guys.
Yeah.
What weight class are you in?
I'm featherweight.
Okay. So you watched the Tank and the Garcia fight?
Right. I watched that. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and when you're looking at guys that are more your size, where do you, like, I don't know, how many amateur fights do you have?
Right now, I've probably done a few. Like, I don't really keep up with it because when I was doing the amateurs, I didn't really feel like that fit me because I'm on a fast track to try to get my pro card. So amateurs, it scores different. It's a different type of tempo, things of that nature. So
I love it. Fuck the amateurs. Let's go pro, baby. Let's get it.
I've been trying to do. We were trying to do pro amateur style things. So we've been finding these online. I forgot what they call them, but like online fight clubs. And I'm trying to get into that.
All right, Brad Pitt. Your fight club and shit.
Have you ever heard of Street Beast, stuff like that? Anything like
that?
Stuff like that,
I've talked to a lot of those. Bro, I'm connected with a lot of promotions. We gotta obviously we'll build a friendship even more. Sure. I got you guys back too.
Appreciate you.
You know who has a fight promotion that's probably in the building right now? Is Sean did Sean come in yet? He is coming though, right? He's coming. Yeah, Sean Merriman.
Oh, wow.
Hall of Famer from the Chargers.
Yeah,
he'll be in here soon. It's my boy. He owns Lights Out. I don't know if they do boxing, but we can bring it up.
For sure.
If you're in there, Sean, let's do some boxing.
For sure.
So what is the route? Like, you guys obviously have a goal in mind. For sure. Have you guys sat down and did A through F? Like, hey, this is where we're at. This is where we want to be. Like, how do we get there with the boxing? Can you guys walk through?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I have a trainer for boxing, and he's my strength and conditioning coach. They collaborate on different things, and they kind of like, I'm basically putting my life in their hands. So I have to trust him, and I have to trust my trainer, Coach Obi-Wan. And together, they just, like I said, they just trying to do the best that they can for me. And as far as me, like I say, fast-tracking my career at this point. So it's just all coming together, man. I put the work in too, like he says, day by day, brick by brick, like Nip says, and it's all paying off. It's gratification. It's been plenty of mornings where I don't want to wake up and do his ad. Like his ad routine is crucial. When he first told me, listen, bro, you got to wake up. I need 400 abs in the morning. I need 600 midday. I need another 400 at night. And I was like, man, I don't know about that. But in a week, I was doing it. And then every other goal he set for me that I didn't think I could do, I ended up doing it. And it's just like, now I just feel confident that anything's possible. I feel stronger, a lot stronger. I already could hit hard, but now I'm hitting a lot harder. My punches are more crisp. My strength, my endurance is better. So it's coming along.
I love his mindset. And like, had nothing against you. I'd never met you, but I said sometimes when I get boxers and fighters that I never met that are like up and coming, their ego's crazy, and they make me a little like motherfucker, like, because you are your energy's beautiful, man. Like, and I think that alone is why, because I've seen a lot of your work. Now I get it. Because I've met I get hundreds of DMs. Hey, and I'm like. Then I see him smoking tons of weed, and now I'm like, you're not wasting my time, bro. These people everything costs money, and you don't want to fight. You just want to want to clip. I feel the greatness coming off you. I mean that.
I appreciate it.
And I've sat in here with boxing world champions. We're definitely I want to connect you with. I just had Maricela Cornejo on. She fought Clarissa Shields. She was a WBC champion 2015 for super middleweight, I think. But she has a lot of people out here. Yeah. Like you said, brick by brick. When I started this, I was like, how the hell am I going to do a show? I don't know anybody. I'm not a fighter. I'm not from Vegas. I just was like, you know what? Let's do it. And for the first 4 months, I didn't feel like I belonged in the building. I was like, I'd sit with these UFC fighters and meet celebrities and all these people at the UFC and the Apex. And I'm wearing a fake Pepsi Rolex from Ross, and they're wearing like, Richard Mills, but then you start believing that shit, right? Because you're like, damn, they're no different than me. They're just a little. I used to tell my soldiers, they're like, damn, blah, blah. I said, the only difference between you and I is I joined 5 years before you.
That's it.
So where are we going to be in 5 years?
Exactly.
That's it.
But I believe it when he says it. Yeah. And if I didn't, I'd tell you. That'd be some good views. I'd tell you. Trust me. I feel it, and I think that comes with the age. Yeah. What were you doing at 22?
Streets, man, to be honest with you. And like inspiration for me is like George Foreman and Bernard Hopkins. To see Bernard Hopkins win a world championship at like 52, that was just like, man. And then George Foreman, when he tried to come back and everybody said, you too big, you too old. And then he ends up knocking out the killer at the time, Michael Moore. So it was like, man, that was, I think, the beginning for me to realize age is really nothing but a number. It's your mind state, your work ethic, your heart. What do you want to do? And like you said, you're the type of individual that I could gravitate to because it's not about talking, it's about action. You know what I'm saying? You do what it takes to accomplish what you need to do.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? And that's the people you surround yourself with. Surround yourself with killers, man. And that's how it goes down. That's what they told me. That was the first thing he told me. Surround yourself with killers, man. You're going to get it done.
And the most savage people I've ever met are the most humble.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
I've trained with ODA, Special Forces. I hung out with Navy SEALs. I used to be in the motorcycle MC culture in California. Great people. You don't want to get on the dark side. So where are we at now? You have a goal. Obviously, it's different. And I only ask because I know the route an MMA fighter would take. They would build their name a little doing some jiu-jitsu tournaments. They'd do some MMA amateur stuff. And they'd connect with, one of these management companies, and they would try to get on the Contender Series or, jump in if a fighter missed weight or something. There's a lot of ways to get into that world. I don't really know how, and I say that because there's not really one entity, right?
Nah, there's so many.
Can you explain for the MMA viewers? They usually watch my show. It's Fight Junkeez, so I'm trying to do fight stuff. If I could get those bum dudes who fought behind the McDonald's. You ever see bum fights on YouTube?
Right.
I'd interview them, because they were fighting. That shit was wild. Bum fights. If you haven't seen bum fights, go on YouTube, look up bum fights and bum hunter. it's sad because I've interviewed, you know, and I was homeless at one point when I was going through my addiction and got out of jail and all that shit back in 2017. But Bum Hunter is nuts. He dresses up like Steve Irwin, and he goes out at night and find, hey, we got a big one, mate. And they're in prison now, so don't do what they did. But if you need a laugh, go find Bum Hunter on YouTube.
I'm about to check that one out.
Yeah, so I'm diving into, I'm trying to, but it's boxing's hard. MMA, I know it's, you know, one championship, Bellator, UFC, you know, there's certain structures inside. I don't know. Is Eddie Hearn own it all? I don't know what's going on. You know, Teddy Atlas, is he still a training? There's no structure. Can you guys break down how boxing is right now?
Yeah.
Because
I think boxing now, the reason why we're getting all these good fights this year is because they're kind of seeing the format of the UFC. And I think the UFC of the boxing world now is like the PBC. So it's starting to they want to compete, like you said. So it's starting to become more of we got to make these fights. But when I'm finding out, boxing used to be real political, right? So it was hard to tap into, hard to get into. But now, if you can make a name for yourself like Jake Paul, KSI, whatever it takes, people want to see you fight. So if you, like I say, I mentioned Street Beefs a couple years ago, people would have laughed at me and like, I'm just going to do the amateurs. But I'm like, if I walk around my city and ask 10 people about, can you name me 3 Street Beef fighters? I bet you they can. Can you name me 3 amateur boxers? And they can't. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to figure out what works for you and do it.
I've looked at some of your stuff. I feel bad for the street beef guy who just shows up to scrap. You're going to fucking body somebody. Like, what is next? Because not saying that there's anything wrong with street beefs. I don't want to get called out.
Just
but you know.
He got skill. I
yeah,
feel like it's similar to, you know, them fighters that might go to Mexico.
Right.
And get their fights.
I had one on, Raul Rojas Jr. He had to go fight 5 times because he was only 17.
Right.
Couldn't get his pro card. When are we going to Mexico? Let's go.
Yeah. That's the type of thing to get him, just to get active, because, you know, boxing is about being active. And the longer you're off or not fighting, the more your tools get rusty. So things like street beefs and stuff is just to get him active. You know what I mean? Keep his hands moving. And then we start to set up things like fights in Mexico and things, because at the end of the day, you got to fight amateur fights to get noticed. Because I compare boxing to the record, like a record industry, right? You got a rapper that can rap, and he's rapping to see if one of these big entities will see him and sign him.
You got to make the mixtape.
You see what I'm saying? So your mixtape in boxing is your amateur career. You're fighting so that you can get a PBC, or Al Heyman, or Eddie Hearn to see you top rank. But okay, let me get them on here and let me see what they can do. So our objective and goal, and then with social media, it changed the whole landscape of boxing. That's why Jake Paul could just step into boxing, because he has a social media presence. So now he brings a whole nother crowd. Same with Ryan Garcia, hell of a fighter, but he has a hell of a social media presence as well. So all of that plays a part. So we just merging both of them together. We're going to get his social media presence out of that street beast. And then in the meantime, you go fight amateur fights. So then when you bring your package to the table, you got amateur fights, you got social media presence. Now your package is undeniable. Let me see what he got. So that's kind of the plan right now, to kind of build both simultaneously so we can just dive in there.
But I think no disrespect to like commission amateur boxing matches, I think I'd be more scared to go do street beefs.
I would be too, yeah.
Because that's not regulated
at all.
You get somebody's homeboy, like you get fucking shot at in the backyard and shit. I do love what they're doing, because I got a lot of friends that are, you know, that went that other route. I went in the military, thank God, and it puts that anger in the right direction. Cool. But you know who we got to connect you guys with? You guys watch No Jumper?
Right.
Yes, I do.
You know who Sharp is?
I do. I know.
He's going to be on my show next week. You guys won't be here, though. I'm taking him to the UFC. And then I'm going to go out to LA, I'm sure, and kick it. But they do a lot of stuff with Crip Mac and Whack 100 and Blueface. And they do a lot of boxing. You know what I mean? So just time and space, it'll all come. But sure. I got you guys for sure. Because I'm still in that building stage too. I'm trying to find my amateur fights. You know what I'm saying? But it's growing. It's growing.
For sure.
So what does a day back home look like for you guys? Are you guys in the same area? Is it like you have are you in camp? Like, how does that work when you're not sure when you're going to have a fight? You just all the time you're on?
It's like, it's a lifestyle. And that's what separates great boxers from good boxers. You look at a Mayweather, at the end of the day, it's his lifestyle. That's every day, it's his lifestyle versus somebody who turn it on for camp, turn it off for camp. Right. So with us, that's how we train. Even if we ain't have a fight for the next 10 years, it wouldn't matter. When it comes, we be ready. Because every day we training, keeping his conditioning up, making sure he eating right, making sure he thinking right, making it a lifestyle. So.
Yeah. Now, I know that you're a fitness trainer and you're busting into that whole world. I mean, I know I have some friends that kind of do similar stuff. They competed. They have a bunch of people that they better their lives, you know.
For sure.
What are, like I said before, I do the show, but I'm still growing, and I'll drive Uber. I got blown up by Al-Qaeda. Thank you, Al-Qaeda, because now I get a fat check every month to pay the rent. Like, how are you managing? Are you don't have to say exactly what you're doing, but are you still working and clocking in? And then, because people don't realize, like, you'll train at 5 a.m. and then go work 8-10 hours to put food on the table for the kids.
Absolutely.
And then go back and train again. Yeah. They just think we all just got sponsors and money like that. That's not how it works.
No, sir.
Yeah. So how do you manage that? You have kids?
No, I don't. And that actually plays a big role because my schedule is so packed. I do anywhere from 2 to 3 workouts a day, different workouts. So that works around my work schedule. And to be honest with you, I drive tractor trailers from anywhere to 9 to 14 hours a day. So that's what I have to do to keep the roof over my head. And
you just on the back of that shit on the highway doing push-ups?
Yeah. Man,
he's out there shadow boxing on I-95.
Every time you get out, you need to do them jumping jacks, do those burpees. If you're doing a 14-hour day, you might not have time to do 3 workouts or even 2 sometimes. So you got to get it in wherever you can.
You know, it'd be cool if you could find out his route schedule if you were doing cross country, and every time you dropped the load and you stayed the night, go beat the hell out of somebody, get that on the record, and then go to the hey, we're going to Minnesota tomorrow. We just beat this boy's ass in Tennessee.
Exactly.
But like, you fought everywhere. How? Who paid for that? Don't worry about it.
Exactly. And that's the benefit of like intra-imperium training. So like my style of training, you don't need an hour. I can give you a mean 15 minutes and then feel like you worked out for 2 hours. So it's all about gauging that intensity. So even with his schedule, giving him that necessary work. You hop out the truck, how much time you got? Ish, I got 20 minutes. All right, well, I got a 20-minute killer workout for you that's going to keep you on par. So then when your day is in a different spectrum and you got more time, you still be ready.
People don't realize what 20 minutes can do if you don't stop. We used to do. Have you ever done card PT with a deck of cards?
Oh yeah.
Where like if it flips to red, it's upper body, black is lower body, and you got a partner.
Yes,
and like they're standing behind you and you're just wrecking each other. Yeah. We used to do that in the Army. We in the basement if it was like 2 feet of snow out in Germany, and they put the heat all the way up, put on our like all of our sweaters, and we go down and. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Non-stop. I mean, people don't realize, like, thing about boxing, 3 minutes is a long time when you fighting.
I got a bet right now where if I lose, I got to give my wife a foot rub every night for a month, which I don't mind. My wife's hot. She got cute feet anyway. But she thinks, and she smokes weed and her vape, and she's not the most athletic. She's never been, she's just natural beauty. She never worked out. You know what I'm saying? She just hot for no fucking reason. She thinks she can just go all out 100% at a punching bag without stopping for a minute. And I was like, you have no. A minute does not seem, let me tell you something. You're going to lose bets.
Yeah.
1 minute doesn't seem like a lot of fucking time.
It doesn't, but
have you ever seen a street fight and you see like what happened and the dude's all fucked up already?
Yeah.
He got hit 40 times in 6 seconds and stomped out.
Yeah.
And he don't even know what the fuck happened.
Exactly.
Hitting a heavy bag for 1 minute straight when you don't train. I was like, damn, you're about to be rubbing my feet because I'm gonna get a massage, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can you guys talk about like some of your conditioning workout? I mean, I did basic bullshit in the Army to be able to run 2 miles, you know? Yeah. We didn't really do. Officers like to run because you guys are, you know, no offense, they're kind of dorky, you know? Like they like putting in like audio books and running 8 miles on a Saturday. I'm like trying to wake up and recover from the night before. Officers, all of them, and they know I love them. They can run.
For sure.
Regular military, unless you're like special forces or like, we just do our 2 mile crap, you know, basic, just enough to get by.
Definitely.
Fighting's a different ball game.
Oh yeah.
So how are you guys doing? Like, is it all like interval stuff?
Yeah. So it's a combination. So it's a form of exercise we call groundwork. So that's your burpees, bear crawls, Mike Tyson push-ups, a variation, but it's partner driven, right? So I go, he go, I go, he go. And the tempo changes, so it emulates a fight, right? So it start off at a certain tempo, but then we pick it up as we go on. So we might do that for an hour straight, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then by the time you get to the end, you be looking for any type of area you can find.
You know what's funny? Normally the fighter is the one that's in the better shape than the trainer. It's some old like heavyweight dude telling you, you know, it must suck to work out with him.
Man, because he's so listen, Bobby, man. He's so in shape and he doesn't understand. And I'm like, man, look,
like,
bro,
slow the fuck down, bro. We're never gonna make it. I'm gonna die.
And sometimes I gotta leave his workout and go straight upstairs to the gym to do my boxing.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, and I'm like, yo, don't zap me. Don't zap me before I go up there. So it's like, yeah, man.
Did you look at his Instagram, Lana?
No.
You check it out. You'll know what we're talking about. This dude. I'm glad my wife's at my house 30 minutes away.
You seen his warm-ups? Have you checked out his warm-up?
Yeah.
The 700,
yep.
Yeah, and the 1,000? Yeah,
yeah.
Crazy, right?
Warm-up.
Warm-up.
Yeah, man. I used to, can you talk about that mindset? Like, because like I said, some people can't even get in there, but now you're at the pinnacle of fitness. What keeps you going?
So...
You got demons, don't you?
No.
He's got the devil on both shoulders. He's like, if I don't work out, I'm gonna lose my mind.
No. So I equate working out with life, right? So I had my brother. He had cerebral palsy when he was born, so he wasn't supposed to live past the age of 5. But my family ran into my mentor, and he just took him off all medicine, exercise, and fed him right. And he lived to be 17. So way past what the doctors can see. So when I see fitness, I correlate it with longevity in life. So when I go into the gym, I'm not working out to look good. I'm working out to extend my life. I'm working out for longevity. So when I go in there, that's kind of my mindset. It's like I want to push myself because the harder I go, the longer I live. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
That's kind of my mindset.
You have kids too?
No, not yet.
Man, you guys, good. I have a 9-month-old. Again, you know, I have a 15, 13, and 8 with my ex. Yeah. I'm going to look through a picture. So you guys are in Virginia, and boxing's not too big out there? Like, how is it for you guys? I'm trying to gather what I'm trying to say. Here in Vegas, it's very easy due to the promotions and a lot of the casinos, and there's a lot of hosts for fights and stuff. Right. Has it hindered you? Have you guys thought about moving or expanding or just... You know, I mean, most people, like, look at Tyson. He was up in the Catskills in New York. I used to camp out there in the middle of nowhere, head low. It might be better to be there without the distractions. You come out here, good-looking young man. He's a boxer.
For sure.
You know, you're like, damn, I went out last night, you know, and then he shows up, and he's like, 700 burpees, bitch.
Well, about a couple of hours, like, an hour and a half up the road, we have the D.C. area where a lot, like, Tanks from up there, Upton Gym. You got Gary Russell Jr. and Gary Antoine Russell. You got Jared Hurd. Got a lot of Sugar Ray Leonard's from Palmer Park, Maryland. So, like, up the road a ways.
Yeah, DC's big. I before the Army, I think it was like 2002, I worked for, my mom worked for, like, telecommunications, and she didn't really want me to go in the military. So I went to DC for a month and pulled cable, like fiber optics and, like, Cat 5 and Cat 6 into the library downtown. And I was like, man, this is so nice. And then we left and we had to go to stay at the Motel 6 outside the circle. And I was like, oh, all right, this is DC over here. Yeah, it was, it looked like Jersey City, man. So do you, obviously you're the trainer, what would you consider yourself? Management as well?
Yeah, I mean, I consider a friend. Right.
See that?
At the end of the day.
Friendship. Yeah. Everybody wants to manage and percent this and all this bullshit. Good things will happen to good people, and we will all eat together if we're all just treat each other with respect. Too many people are like, I'm going to be your manager. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, come into the gym and get hit in the face like I am.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. You know, I just want the best for him, you know, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So as a friend, you know, I train him because I would want somebody to do that for me if I was fighting or going to fight. So and if I see an opportunity, I'll let him know, you know, just as I would want somebody to do for me.
How can I ask what kept you from starting this at a younger age? I know we weren't focused, 22. Yeah. I mean, I was in Iraq, actually. I turned 22 in Iraq. But I was still a moron when we got back. I was still drinking and chasing girls. And I was a child. I was a child till about 6 months ago, and I'm going to be 38. What got you into boxing where you said this is going to... Because there's a lot of people that do a lot of things. Sure. But to finally say, this is what I'm going to do. This is who I'm going to be. You know what I'm saying? Like... working and doing the tractor test, that's what you do. But this is going to be who you are.
For sure.
When was that turning point? Like, what brought you to that?
To be honest, life, and I had to grow mentally a little bit, and to get me into this position. And then I felt like with everything that was going on, I could actually make something out of this that may be able to improve the quality of my life as I go forward. You know, so I said it's an opportunity. So I'm going to seize it. I'm going to take the moment, and like I said, I never looked back, and since then, all of the pieces have been falling in place, and we just had our foot on the gas right now. I mean, look, we're at Fight Junkeez.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys being here.
For sure.
You know?
I just told my wife this the other day. Well, she's kind of like she grounds me, you know, because I'm a ridiculously optimistic person, you know, and I'm super nice. And she tells me, stop being so goddamn nice. And I made a video. I said, when I'm not nice, I miss Christmas.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. I've already done my crazy shit, my temper days. I'm finally back to where, like, I can go to dinner tonight if I want to. You know, and that's big for where I used to be.
Yes, sir.
You know, I couldn't go 4 hours without having to find something, you know, to put in my body. So, but I would, you know, the belief of, like, being where you're at now, who around you, besides, you know, Ishmeal was like, who else is in your ear? Is your family still? You're still close to your family? Like, somebody had to look at you.
For sure.
But and maybe nobody. Some people have self-belief at the wazoo. But you know, I personally had to have a couple people say, "You can do it, bro." You know, I needed that, and maybe that's because I grew up in the team mentality. It's like, we got this.
For sure.
Like, how is everybody looking at you now? Like, I want to be, because that's a crazy thing to say. I want to go be a pro boxer.
Right, yeah, and I understand everything that comes with it. It started out some sparring footage, stuff like that, and that got people a little bit interested in what was going on, and that's how I met up with my trainer. And at that time, I had, you know, he helped me with a lot of issues that I was having with anger, and I was able to channel that through boxing. Like, you know, it became my anger management. It helped me, you know, it calmed me in other aspects of life because I had an outlet now. You see what I'm saying? So just changed my whole mental and everything, my whole outlook on life. I feel better. I have a purpose, have drive now, and I got good people around me. It's real good people around me. And so now I gotta do it, man. I gotta do it. Like, and I want to, so it's going to happen. So, sure. I mean, it's just like he said, it's just timing. We building it, we got a plan, we executing it, it's happening now.
Sure.
So what's next for you?
So for me, just trying to get out there and let people know what my training can do. Because I feel like for any sport, it'll be valuable. UFC, boxing. I got a few soccer players I'm training right now. Baseball, you know what I mean? Because it's a style of training that you can tailor it to whatever sport. So just like we out here in Vegas, trying to meet people, make connections in the process. So I'm just trying to get out, let people know what I can bring to the table, and hopefully somebody be like, okay, and then I can help take them to the next level. You know what I love? And I'm going to look right at the camera because I'm going to talk some shit. Before the show, when I was with you, I said, I was looking at him like, damn, you really are about that life. You guys ever go to GNC and the real fat dude tries to sell you some shit and he's like, yo, if you take this, you're going to get jacked? And you're like, shut the fuck up. This is one of the first gentlemen that is literally a walking testimony of the outcome of what you put in. Sure. So I commend you for wanting to train people, but also putting in the work to show them I'm not just
you gotta lead from the front, man.
Oh, yeah,
you have to. I used to always tell my soldiers, if you're gonna be at the trucks cleaning them, I'm there with you.
Sure.
If we're running 3 miles, I'm running 3.5. Let's go as leaders, because everybody thinks they're leaders because they can open their mouth and make a clip and talk shit or sell something. That don't make you a leader.
No.
People follow you out of necessity, not because they want to.
That's the difference.
This guy, I can tell, follows you because he's got love for you and trust. And that's what, I mean, look, and different, but look at Mike Tyson and Cuss. Completely different world.
Yeah.
You know, you got a young black man coming from, he was a boy at that time, from Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn, yeah.
You know, from Brownsville. My family's from Brooklyn. It's a hard area. Even when I was younger, 35 years ago, go back even 40, 50 years ago, to a white family that he obviously didn't trust at the time. Like, who the fuck are you guys? He was in a boys' home.
Exactly.
But when he led with love, he got the best outcome he could have ever got.
No question, yeah.
Because he led with, I love, you're my son, Tyson.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to lead with love, because when you lead with greed and you lead with just the mindset of winning and all this, but you see, you led with, I have a purpose and it's saving my life. It's giving me, making me a better human, a better man.
For sure.
So boxing's just, it's not about just going pro and winning. It is just who you are now.
Exactly.
It's a way of life.
Exactly, for sure.
But you got to be around people that live it. You can't say, oh, I'm a trainer. And it's like, oh, yeah, I just saw a Taco Bell bag in your fucking back seat. You know, like,
for sure.
shut the hell up.
For sure.
Because that's the whole world now. Everybody just wants to be heard.
Exactly.
What do you? Let's get into that shit. Let's get off topic a little bit. What do you guys think? I got to ask you guys about this, because it drives me nuts, man. This red pill, real value man, real high value man crap. Yeah. What do you guys think of all that stuff? Because I personally have never met a real man, father of you know, of daughters, somebody who's done some significant stuff, have to go out and on video educate younger women about them being a real man. They just humble real men.
Right.
And maybe you guys have been on podcasts talking about it. What do you think about not just the high value man bullshit, but just men in general nowadays?
I'll let you go first. No, go ahead.
I feel like we're losing the values of real men.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bobby. I do. That's why my circle is small. Like, I'm around men like him, men like my coach, men that we lead by action. You see what I'm saying? It's not about the gift of gab. It's about action. It's about accountability. It's about knowing that each situation too is different. People are different. How you deal with them is different. So it's not just I don't really know too much to speak on. I guess the dynamics of the red pill thing.
It's basically it's ego, and it just and I think a lot of them are good men. I don't want to cut you off. I just think that it's they're people are doing things for the wrong reasons. And that just happened to be one of the subjects, the red pill crap. I think that people are just so lost. They don't do this anymore.
No.
Like, I do this not just on camera.
For sure.
Bro, I have tons of conversations everywhere I go.
Right.
I mean, the other day I was in the historic West Side, and I was driving Uber. I drove a beautiful black woman who is going to run for city council, and I'm a Prince Hall Freemason.
For sure.
So there's not a lot of white boys that are Prince Hall Mason. It's dominantly black men.
For sure.
So when we got to talking, and I turned the Uber off, and she was like, hey, I drove around with her, and she showed me. I would have never learned about the history, and I'm not just saying that because you guys are black gentlemen, but like, we got into a regular conversation.
Sure.
Two humans from two different worlds had a beautiful 45-minute conversation about life with two completely different eyes.
For sure.
Because we opened our mouths. And
yeah.
that shit doesn't happen anymore. And the only time people open their mouth now is to get clicks and shit. And that's kind of, you know, ironic of me saying that, because obviously that's what I'm trying to do. But you can go home and ask my family.
For sure.
I'm a good man. I'm a good husband. I'm loyal.
You can see that, though. You can tell in your delivery, and you can feel those vibes that this is not. You can tell a difference from somebody doing something just to do it for likes, for clicks, versus somebody that's doing it because that's what they do.
Yeah.
And like, even with the whole red pill thing, I think it's twofold, right? It's a lot of men that don't want to put the work in. Everybody looking for a quick fix. Same with fitness. It's all the same. Everybody looking for that 5-minute thing that's going to make them this amazing guy. But everything requires work. And a lot of those red pill things is they don't want to put the work in. So they say high value man. What's a high value man? This, and this. On the surface, anybody can get those things that they list. But when you put the work in, it's things deeper than that makes you a man of character, a man of quality. But that requires work. So they're not going to do that. You see what I'm saying? And then the other thing is a lot of people have a lot of insecurity. There's a lot of insecure men out here. Yeah. So you can get in front of the camera and you can look like Superman because nobody knows. But what happens is a lot of people end up being a private failure, right? So success, they think they're successful publicly, but privately they failing. But on the camera, it looks like they can talk that talk on the camera. You see what I'm saying? But in private,
I love that you said that.
Yeah, but in private they suffering. So I feel like that's what it boils down to with us as men. Like a lot of us hide behind that camera, our insecurities. Then a lot of us just don't want to put the work in to fix it. So now you got the red pill. You do this, you're a high value man. You ain't got to worry about the stuff you really need to work on because you high value. You see what I'm saying? So
you got money. You can still be abusive as fuck.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, and you can still be a dirtbag because you got a Ferrari.
You see what I'm saying? So that's how I see the whole red pill.
I like that. Now I'm going to flip it for my last question because we're running out of time. Okay. Obviously, the fight game is also a huge part is entertainment.
For sure.
I used to look at myself with all my tattoos and think, man, that's a bad look. But now that I'm on the show and I go to around and I meet a lot of the fighters and a lot of celebrities at the Apex and stuff, people, I don't even know if they recognize Bobby or give two shits, but they remember me because of the way I look.
For sure.
When I say that is everybody has a thing. I'm the tatted up vet. Like that's who I am, you know? Do you guys have a plan or have you talked about like doing some like entertainment type shit that's different? Because you gotta always like you could be the best fighter. Mike Tyson just said the best fighters in the world. Nobody knows them.
Nobody knows them. That's a fact.
You know,
that's a fact. That's a fact.
So you guys know what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I feel like it's just putting your personality out there at the end of the day. Like I tell numbers, just be numbers. People will fall in love with numbers. You see what I'm saying? And I think the perfect example is like a Terrence Crawford. So for a while, Terrence Crawford been one of the best fighters in the world, but Terrence Crawford was always just low key, chill, laid back. But then more recently, he started showing his personality. Like he not being nobody else, he's being Terrence Crawford. But that's him. He talking his junk. That's him. So now people are like, okay, who is that? Mayweather's a perfect example. Mayweather just was being Mayweather. You see what I'm saying?
He just likes money.
You see what I mean? And people will fall in love with you, but you just gotta be authentically you. So I feel like it's not even a character he gotta build or nothing fantastic he gotta do. Just go out there and be you. Earl Spence. People, he pack houses just because he's Earl Spence. He don't do nothing. He don't talk junk like that. He do a little bit, but he's just his personality. Tank the same way. Yeah. So I feel like you feed the world your personality, and the world is dying for authenticity, man.
Right, facts.
Because there's so much fakeness out here. They're dying for it.
That's why I told you before you came in, I'm like, up and coming fighter. A lot of these guys got egos. They want to impress me and they want to do some wild shit. I'm like, man, we're going to go through the TV together, you know? But you coming in at a 32-year-old grown-ass man, humble, well-spoken, like just no ego. Ego's there, but you have it in the right compartment. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bring that guy out when I need to.
For sure.
I think that shows a lot about your character, and I think in the fight game, that's going to go long because a lot of people don't necessarily, so many people, like you said, are playing a character and talking shit and doing all this wild shit, but they're really like not even close to who that person is.
Exactly.
You get 8 interviews on other podcasts, and like, I went to high school with him. That ain't him. What the hell?
Exactly.
Being who you are, people are going to gravitate because you're a team that I'd want to work with.
For sure.
Because I don't feel bad energy or drama or bullshit or, like wild shit coming from you. And I think in the fight game, that's huge. Think about Kevin Holland. When he was on the Contender Series, the whole fight, he was talking shit to Dana. Yelling, talking the whole fight. And Dana, in the beginning, they were like, are you going to sign him? And he won his fight. And he's like, no, I don't want anything to do with him. Because he said he talks too much.
Yeah.
And then I guess somebody fell out and like 8 people were like, I'm not fighting. And he said, call Big Mouth.
Yeah.
And he's selling merch now. It says Big Mouth. So it worked out in the long run. But in the beginning, I don't know if that's really obviously now we know that that's who he is. He always talks shit. But Dana might have thought he's just trying to impress him and be loud for no reason.
Right.
And it hindered him from getting a contract.
Absolutely.
You know, so I think it's cool that you just came in and you're just you. But that's also you're older. I mean, I didn't know if you could have been 21 coming in here all like testosteroned up, like you know, trying to get your stuff. So we'll talk offline. We might see if Merriman is here. He's super cool because he owns a fight promotion. I don't know but I know I'm real good with Eric Nixick, Francis Nganou's MMA coach over at Extreme Couture. That's more mixed martial arts, but boxing wise, it's good to just keep. There's a lot of. You guys are gonna be here till Sunday.
Yeah, it's a Sunday.
I have a friend who's in the boxing world, and he has a show out here as well, boxing.
Definitely.
I'm gonna hit him up after this and maybe get you guys on there.
That'd be awesome.
I don't know what his weekend's like, but either way, I'll connect you guys.
That'd be awesome. Appreciate
So
it.
we got the real numbers, and we got the Black Superman, Ishmeal. You guys, I appreciate you guys.
Likewise.
Enjoy Vegas, baby. Let's go.
Sir.
All right, guys.
You, man.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
We're out.
Oh, yeah.